You are not behind in life, you are just stuck in fear. Fear tells you that you're not good enough or fast enough, but the only way you actually fall behind is if you stand still. If you refuse to move, your fear becomes your reality, and I don't want that for you. Think about the old story of the tortoise and the hare. The hare sprinted ahead, cocky and fast. The tortoise plodded slowly, feeling miles behind. Yet who won in the end? The tortoise. Slow and steady, beat quick and overconfident. Why? Because the tortoise kept moving forward while the hare got complacent. If you keep moving forward, you can still win your race. Right now, you might feel like that tortoise, watching everyone zoom past you. Your friends launching businesses, hitting milestones, living your dreams, while you're stuck in molasses and thinking, they're so far ahead and I'm crawling, I'll never catch up. Then that pressure is real and it can crush you. I felt it too. Let me tell you a quick story. For years, I played it small. I had, as I call it, the opposite of an ego. I was so afraid of disappointing people that I wouldn't even get in the game. I literally wouldn't sign up to be on a team because I was scared of letting people down. Can you imagine? I idolized success. I had big dreams, but I was too paralyzed to even try. If anything, I realized I needed more ego, more boldness, more self-belief because I was nowhere close to my potential playing that small. And so the fear of failing and falling behind made me hold myself back. I finally pushed through that fear. And when I did, I learned something that was life-changing, something that I want for you to learn right now. The fear of falling behind doesn't protect you. It poisons you. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you let it stop you from acting, you guarantee that you stay stuck. But Evan, what if I am too far behind? What if it is too late for me? Listen, that doubt in your head is just another lie. And sure, maybe someone you know jumped out to an early lead. They got the fancy job and the funding and the car, the followers. They're a few steps ahead right now. But success isn't a straight line, and it's not a specifically timed lap. It's not first out of the gate wins. In fact, people who follow a safe, preset path might look ahead in the beginning, but the ones who take their time to explore and find their own path often surge ahead in the long run. History is full of late bloomers, those who wander a bit at the beginning, but who dare to try different things and carve their own path. Those people end up winning when you zoom out and look at the big picture. Why? Because they build exponential growth on their terms while the early sprinters plateau. Success is not a zero-sum race. Everyone is climbing a different mountain. Just because someone else reaches their peak doesn't mean that you can't reach yours. I remember being invited to a private mastermind hosted by my friend Brendon Burchard. In that room were people that I looked up to, absolute superstars. I walked in and immediately felt like I didn't belong. I thought, oh my God, what am I even doing here? These guys are legends. I'm nobody next to them. And I shrank in my seat, convinced that I was way behind everyone else. But Brendon noticed. He pulled me aside and he essentially said, you give so much to people, you got to make sure that you come up with an ask. In other words, stop comparing your value to theirs, focus on what you bring to the table, and don't be afraid to ask for help where you need it. That actually hit me really hard. I realized I was so busy feeling inferior that I was blind to my own strengths and opportunities. I was measuring myself against others when I should have been looking in the mirror and asking, hey, what unique value do I offer and how can I use it to move forward? The moment that I embraced that mindset, I stopped feeling behind and started seeing myself as an equal on my own path. Now, this entire video topic comes from one of our subscribers, from you guys. Ruby040 reached out and said, I have fear that I may not achieve everything that I have been wishing for. It feels like everyone is going forward, but I am stuck in my situation. Honestly, don't know how to overcome it because I overthink a lot. And it breaks my heart because I know so many of you feel exactly this way. So today, I'm going to help you overcome that fear. We're going to destroy the illusion of falling behind and get you unstuck. I'm going to talk about the 4 steps to overcoming the fear of falling behind and start building the life that you want. If you have been here before, drop a hashtag Believe in the comments below so I can feature you here in a future video. And if you are new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe. Number 1, the real reason why you feel stuck and what science says. If you feel stuck and left behind, it's not because you're lazy or you're incapable. It's because fear has put your feet In concrete, the real reason you're stuck is that fear is sabotaging your ability to act. Psychologists have found that fear can serve as a powerful emotional brake, a deterrent that makes you avoid the very actions that would move you forward. For example, if you're afraid you'll fail at starting that business or writing that book, you procrastinate. You tell yourself you'll do it later, but later never really comes, right? Sound familiar? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being perfect. These fears trigger procrastination as a coping mechanism. Your brain thinks, if I don't start, I can't fail. So you do nothing, and doing nothing becomes the habit. The crazy part is avoiding action might protect your ego in the short term. You can't fail if you never try, right? But it absolutely wrecks your future. It traps you in a loop of frustration. You feel guilty for not moving, ashamed for not progressing, and that makes you even more afraid to start. It becomes this vicious cycle. So let's break that cycle right now by exposing it. Think about it. Every time you see an opportunity, and you hesitate. Maybe you don't apply for that program. You don't reach out to that potential client. You don't post that video online. Ask yourself why. 9 times out of 10, the root reason is fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of others laughing at you, fear that you'll put in effort and still fail. That fear is your enemy. It's the real villain keeping you stuck in place. Now, I confessed earlier how I used to avoid even trying because I feared disappointing people. I was that kid who wouldn't swing the bat because striking out felt scarier than never taking a swing. Maybe you're doing the grown-up version of that right now. Maybe you're not sending out your business plan. You're not launching your website. You're not asking for the raise, all because deep down, you're terrified of hearing no or looking stupid. I get it, but hear me. You cannot win if you don't play. The only guarantee is that if you never take action, you will stay behind. So what do? We rip off fear's mask. Start by identifying exactly what you're afraid of. Name it. Is it the fear of failure? Fear of what people will say? Fear that you're not ready or you're not worthy? Shine a light on that fear, because when you do, it starts to lose its power. Realize that these fears, they're common. We all have them, and they are beatable. I still feel fear all the time, but I've learned to dance with it instead of letting it paralyze me. Also, if you want to take real action after this video, I made a free worksheet just for you. It covers the top lessons from today, gives you space to write down your biggest takeaways, and helps you build a simple action plan. It's 100% free. Just click the link in the description to go grab it. Let's start building some real momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Believe. Number 2, how overthinking is killing your motion and how to break the cycle. Do you know what happens when you combine fear with a busy mind? Overthinking, and it's a dream killer. Overthinking is like your brain tying itself in knots. You play out a million different scenarios. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Maybe I should wait until I'm 100% sure. And in the end, you've done nothing except exhaust yourself. Psychologists have a term for this: analysis paralysis, a form of overthinking where you literally can't make a decision because you're obsessing over every detail and possibility. You overanalyze so much that you become frozen. It's like revving a car engine when you're neutral. Lots of noise, but you're not moving. Sound familiar? You tell yourself you're doing research, you're planning, but really you're just stuck in your head. Overthinking often comes from that fear of doing the wrong thing. You're so afraid of making a mistake that you make no move at all. It's actually a documented problem. People with an intense fear of making the wrong choice end up avoiding choices altogether. And guess what? The avoidance is the biggest mistake of all because it keeps you parked on the sidelines. So let me share how I deal with this, because I'm not immune to overthinking either. I'm a strategy guy. I love planning, which can be dangerous. My solution is something I call motion over mastery. It means I value action more than I value getting it perfect. I force myself to just move, even if it might be messy. For example, whenever a new platform or trend comes out, my rule is jump in it. Give it a shot. I always tell people, expect to suck at first. I actually get excited about being a beginner because it means that I'm learning something new. I literally say, all right, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm probably going to be terrible. Let's go. Why? Because doing things teaches you way more than thinking about things. The point is motion over mastery. Get in the game, get some momentum, and you can refine as you go. You can't steer a parked car, right? You've got to start driving, even if you're swerving all over the place at first. So how do you break that cycle of overthinking? Here are some quick practical tips to force yourself out of your head and into action mode. Let's start with this. Set a short deadline for decisions. Give yourself 30 minutes or 30 seconds if it's minor to make a choice and then commit. When you impose a time limit, you cut off endless deliberation. For example, If you're deciding on a business name or logo, set a timer and pick one before it rings. Done is better than perfect. Next, break it down to one small step. Overthinking often happens when we stare at a huge goal and get overwhelmed. Instead, ask, what's the next tiny step I can take right now? Do that and nothing else. Send one email, write one page, sign up for one class. Action shrinks your anxiety. Next, embrace imperfection. This is key. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Your first YouTube video, your first blog, your first sales call, they might be awkward or rough. That's okay. Expect to suck at the beginning, right? That's what I remind myself. You can't think your way into confidence. You have to act your way into it. Every imperfect action is a victory because it means you're moving forward while others are stuck. The moment you start moving, you'll notice something amazing. The overthinking voice, it gets quieter. It's drowned out by real-world feedback and progress. You'll start to feel momentum. And momentum, my friends, is powerful. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Once you break that initial inertia, you'll wonder why you tortured yourself by overthinking for so long. So start now. Do something imperfect today. You will thank yourself tomorrow. Number 3, what to do when others are passing you by, escaping the comparison trap. All right, let's tackle one of the biggest sources of that falling behind fear. Other people. You look around and it seems like everyone else is sprinting ahead in life. Your old classmates are buying homes, they're getting promotions, they're hitting 100,000 followers, whatever. And you feel like you're eating their dust. This comparison trap will destroy you if you let it. So how do you escape it? How do we deal with seeing others pass us by? First, you need to understand something. Social comparison is a biased, losing game. We almost never compare fairly. Studies show that when we compare ourselves, we tend to focus on those who seem ahead of us and ignore the vast majority who might be behind or on a similar level. It's like climbing a ladder and only looking up at the people on higher rungs. Of course, you'll feel behind. You've mentally erased all the people on the lower rungs. On top of that, you're comparing your messy reality to an image of someone else's perfect life. Thanks to social media, we are bombarded every day with curated highlight reels. You'll see your friend's business doing 7 figures, but you don't see their 16-hour workdays or the anxiety attacks. You see someone traveling the world on Instagram, but not their credit card debt or their loneliness. We compare our behind the scenes with the other's highlight reels, and it's completely false. So it's no wonder that we feel inadequate. It's all an illusion. Even people you think have it all fall into the same trap. Even billionaires wake up and feel poor or unsuccessful because they're comparing themselves to other billionaires who have more than them. Can you imagine? You've got a yacht and you're sad because the other guy's yacht is 10 feet longer. It sounds absurd, but it's human nature. If you focus on those who are ahead of you, you'll always feel behind. There's always someone seemingly doing better than you. And realizing this was a huge wake-up call for me. The chase of comparison never ends. It never yields happiness. So we have to step off that treadmill completely. So here's what you can do when you catch yourself feeling left behind by others. Start with this. Remind yourself it's not a race. It's a journey. Everyone has their own path and everyone's timing is completely different. Life is not a one-lane track where one person's lead means that you lost. Success is not a zero-sum game. Everyone is climbing a different mountain. When someone achieves something, hey, good for them. It doesn't take away from what you can achieve. You have to internalize that you're on your own timeline, not theirs. Some people take off at 22 and fizzle out by 30. Others don't find their stride until 50, and then they go off and change the world. There's no rule that says you have to accomplish X, Y, Z by a certain age or you're done. The only thing that matters is that you keep climbing your mountain. Next, use inspiration, not comparison. When you see someone do something amazing and you feel that little pang of envy or panic, reframe it. Instead of saying, they're ahead of me, I suck, tell yourself, they're showing me what's possible. Let them inspire you. Jealousy is a directional signal. If they're in your field, study their success. I always say success leaves clues. Rather than resenting someone's achievement, get curious about how they did it and what you can learn. That way their win gives you motivation instead of discouraging you. For example, if your friend's startup is taking off, sit down with them and ask them about their strategies. Learn from them. Admire it. Don't envy. Next, limit the comparison triggers. This is practical. If scrolling Instagram or LinkedIn makes you feel like crap because you're bombarded with other people's highlight reels, Hey, set boundaries with it. I do this myself. I curate my feed heavily. I don't follow people who make me feel like I'm not enough. Sometimes it's not even their fault. It's just my reaction. So I limit exposure until I'm in a stronger headspace. Think about taking a break from social media or unfollowing accounts that make you feel a toxic sort of comparison. Out of sight, out of mind really helps when you build up your own confidence. Instead, fill your environment with content that inspires you and educates you without making you feel less than. Let me bring you back to my experience at that high-profile mastermind. Remember how I felt unworthy to be there, like everyone was beyond me? In that moment, I was deep in the comparison trap. I nearly let it shut me down. But after Brendon told me, focus on what I bring to the table, I made a shift. I went from feeling intimidated by those people to feeling energized by them. I thought, wow, if I can access their knowledge, I can grow faster too. I started asking questions. I openly admitted where I needed help instead of hiding in shame. And you know what? Instead of judging me, those people helped me. They respected me more for being real. I walked out of that room not only with new knowledge and connections, but with a new mindset for myself that other people's success can either be your excuse to quit or your reason to keep going. I chose to let it motivate me. I want you to choose the same. And one more thing. When you feel like others are passing you by, it can make you desperate, like you need to rush to catch up right now. Resist that panic. Stick to your strategy. Stick to your values. Don't make reactive decisions just to one-up someone else. Stay true to yourself. Remember, you might be seeing their chapter 10 while you're on chapter 2. Their journey is not your journey. Keep your eyes on your own paper, as they say in school. You'll get to chapter 10 in time, and it will be your story. Number 4, the only two things that matter: belief and momentum. At the end of the day, overcoming the fear of falling behind comes down to two fundamental things. If you lock in just these two things, nothing can stop you: belief and momentum. So let's start with belief. Everything starts here. You have to believe in yourself, in your mission, your abilities, your destiny, even when you feel behind. In fact, especially when you feel behind. I built my entire brand and life philosophy on one word: belief. It's at the core of everything that I do. Why? Because I've lived the opposite. I've felt the crushing self-doubt. I've been the 19-year-old entrepreneur who was ready to quit on his dream because I didn't think I had what it takes. That was my lowest moment, and also the moment that gave birth to my purpose. I realized that my mission in life is to help people not feel that pain, to help them believe in themselves too. Believe became my one word, my value, my motto. And I'll be honest with you, believing in myself is still a work in progress. I often say my biggest problem, as Evan Carmichael, biggest problem is I don't believe in myself enough to do the next thing. Yes, even now, after years of accomplishments, that little voice of doubt still appears. But I've learned to recognize it and override it. How? By remembering my why, remembering that your purpose comes from your pain. Every time I doubt, I think back to that young Evan who felt worthless, and I refuse to let him down. I believe because I know no one succeeds by accident. They succeed because at some point they chose to bet on themselves, and you need to bet on yourself. Cultivate the belief that you can figure this out, that you can grow, that you will win in the long run. Even if today you're behind, you can still picture yourself catching up and surpassing your goals. Borrow belief from me if you have to. I have enough for both of us, and I truly believe in you. But you must internalize that belief and use it like motivation. It's a motivation that will keep you going when things get tough. And then it's momentum. If belief is the fuel, momentum is the engine. Momentum means you're in motion. You're making progress, however small, every single day. Nothing conquers fear better than action. When you have momentum, even tiny little wins, you stop feeling behind because you can see yourself gaining ground. You stop thinking and you start experiencing. So let me share a quick story of momentum in action. I did a crazy experiment. I wrote a full book in only 5 days. It was insane, even by my standards. How did I pull that off? Momentum. I got inspired with an idea for a book called Momentum, fittingly, and I started writing. Day 1, I wrote 5,000 words. Did I have spare time? No, I was squeezing writing into every gap in my schedule. An hour here, 90 minutes there, between meetings and filming. One Thursday, 2 of my interviews, they got canceled. And instead of taking a break, I said, okay, I got an hour, let me write. I seized every tiny opening to keep the flow going. I turned what would normally be busy time into creation time. And once I had the momentum, it became unstoppable. Even a major life surprise didn't derail me. Halfway through that week, my wife found a lump in her chest, and we had a cancer scare. She's okay. But I was emotionally wrecked that day. But I got right back to writing the next day. In fact, I channeled that scare into my book's message about pushing through real life pressure. I finished the manuscript in 5 days flat. That is the power of momentum. When you're moving, when you have that fire, you become almost immune to distraction and discouragement. Fear is in the backseat because you're too busy actually doing. So ask yourself this: what can you do today to create momentum? It could be as simple as committing to 30 minutes every morning to your dream project. No excuses. When you consistently invest in yourself like that, the results, they start to compound. 30 minutes a day becomes 3.5 hours a week, which becomes 14 hours a month, which is 168 hours, over 168 hours a year spent on your goal. That's equal to over 4 full work weeks devoted to what matters to you. Imagine what you could accomplish with that kind of time, even if it's broken into small daily chunks. That's momentum. And here's the beautiful thing. When you have belief and momentum, you stop worrying about falling behind because you're too busy building your own path. You develop tunnel vision. You got the blinders on to focus on your mission. You wake up with more purpose. You go to bed with more satisfaction. You might look at others and cheer them on, but you no longer feel that big gap between you and them. You're in your own lane, and you're motivated and you're moving forward. You trust that as long as you keep that up, your time will come, and it will. So you are not falling behind. You are on your way. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress for you. Every day you choose belief over doubt and action over excuses, you are closing that gap between the life you have and the life you want. So I want you to remember something. The tortoise only wins because it never stops walking. So keep walking. Your pace might be different. Your journey is going to be unique, but you will get to where you're meant to go as long as you keep moving and keep believing. And congratulations, you're one video closer to who you're meant to be. Believe. If you want to learn how to push away the naysayers in your life, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. Never take advice from someone who isn't where you want to be. Everyone has an opinion about your business and your life, but if they haven't accomplished what you're chasing, then their opinion is nothing more than noise.